Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aspen Rose podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Harvey, here with you today to discuss writing a book and launching it and getting into the public eye and facing opposition, negativity, pushback, and why a lot of people never take the leap because of these things. A lot of people would rather stay in the shadows, not really choose to stand out or put themselves out there. I feel called to write books. The reason I feel called to do this is because when I discuss things online, naturally it comes with a lot of pushback and fighting. So when I first learned the gifts that I had of when I lay hands on people, I can see their whole life, what's making them sick, what they have generationally in their bloodline, what to do to move forward. I can see it all. And I didn't understand this. And I would try and talk to people about it, and they would say I was crazy. So I knew that they would say I was crazy. So I studied every science that I could get my hands on to understand, how is this possible that I know these things? How can this transfer? I need logical and tangible evidence. I need scientific data that has been researched and studied and documented on how I can possibly do these things. Because I was not crazy, I was gifted, and I needed to back it up with evidence. So I started studying all the different sciences. So at that point, I couldn't say I'm a quantum physicist or a psychologist or any of that because I don't have that education. I am a massage therapist and a naturopathic practitioner. I use all forms of naturopathy in my practice to help heal naturally. So I got little certifications here and there on quantum physics, neuroscience, psychology. I've studied all the tiny little certifications I can to get the backing to understand what I'm experiencing. And so even at that point, you're still going to get pushback because not everyone studies these sciences because there's really no point or reason to unless you're researching something specific that you need to understand on a molecular level how it's possible. Because like when you're dealing with quantum physics and even neuroscience, that's going on the deepest level and layer of why this works or happens. And most people don't really need to know the why beneath the why. I do because I need to be able to explain it and teach people. So as I talk about these things online, again, I'm still getting pushback. I'm still getting hate and division and arguing and even being told that I'm unhinged for saying things that are backed up by neuroscience. That me discussing actual neuroscience is unhinged. And it just annoys me so much because I'm trying so hard to educate and teach people the things that I'm seeing that are working, that are helping people heal. These miracles that I'm seeing every day, and I'm trying to back it with science to show you, I'm trying to make this tangible so that you can take bites of it and understand it and grasp it. But then, when I tell people, look, here's the science, I get hate saying, science isn't even real. You can't prove science. Science is being misproven every day. So it's like, I can't win. So why do I keep trying? Why don't I just let everyone suffer without sharing the knowledge and wisdom that I have that can help you? But that's why I love studying spirituality and Bible, because that tells us all the answers to why this is happening. It's a war for your soul. And if you're on the right path and you're changing lives and you're taking territory for God and the kingdom, you're going to get hit with everything. And the devil's going to stop at nothing to attack you. So when I have these pushbacks and attacks no matter what I do, no matter what I provide, and you still want to fight me on it, then I rebuke you, Satan. Be gone, Satan. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going. But I know I just keep getting hit with more opposition and more opposition. But opposition and friction makes you stronger, which we know through physics. The science of building muscle mass, endurance, strength. So in a way, we need the friction. We need the pushback, because you can look at it as a springboard where God says, come here. When you have friction pushing back at you, it propels you further. It slingshots you up higher. So pushback doesn't mean stop. Resistance doesn't mean quit. It's an aid that can be used to help. So I'm going to speak again this summer at the Energy Healing Conference. This one's going to be at the power of our thoughts, how to take our power back by reclaiming our mind and speaking power statements and positive thoughts. And my affirmation for the year is I'm so excited. And I have found that to sum up everything that's good, positive, and powerful, to release all the cocktail of neurochemicals that make you feel excited, happy, and successful. And when you say, I'm so excited, then the brain starts telling you why. I'm so excited because I'm going to write books. I'm so excited because I'm going to help people. I'm so excited because I didn't quit. I'm so excited because I'm going to speak more. I'm so excited because I have a great and bright future ahead of me. I'm so excited because I'm a child of God, period. I'm so excited because I'm a child of God, period. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. It's crazy how the dogs can be laying asleep all day on the opposite side of the house, and the minute I'm trying to do something, they're at my feet humping each other. You can't see that. But anyway, Oakley, can you go over there? So I'm speaking on words at the conference. The past two times I spoke, I tried to educate on the science of healing, and I used different tools that you would teach in a physics class on how energy can channel through us to show how energy moves through things. But this year it's going to be a little bit more simple than that, and it's just going to be about the power of our words and how that can change our whole reality just based on what we say and what we allow in our mind and out of our mouth. And I'm going to write a bunch of books. I have a lot of books in my mind. And I have to do this podcast. And I thought about doing this podcast for probably 15 years, where I would discuss herbs. I'm an herbalist, if you didn't know. I know all the naturopathic stuff. Whatever is naturopathic, I know it. So I want to teach all that, because we've got to take our power back over our health. And you can heal when you grasp these concepts that I want to teach, along with supplemental medicine of herbs. So I want to discuss different herbs every podcast. I want to discuss different sciences, and I don't even know. I'll do interviews with people, but I feel called to do this, but I just don't know really what all I'm going to talk about. And it's probably going to be a half hour, maybe once a week. I'll do it on my Shabbat. I'm supposed to be resting, but this is the only time I have to actually be creative, because I work 6 days a week. And when you do healing and massage, it is draining. It zaps you of everything you have. And I carry the emotional weight of everybody along with everything I see in the world. I carry that. And it just zaps me of everything. Plus everything I'm combating in my own life that I have to work on healing and strengthening within myself. So that's why I'm so protective over the comment section on my social media, where if you want to argue or debate, that's not what I'm about. I just don't have the energy for it. I'm going to make a post because I want to say something, But if you're going to argue and tell me where I'm wrong or contradict or, blah, 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 I'm just going to delete it because it's energy wasted that's not necessary. I'm just trying to put a point out there. I'm not a debater. If something strikes you as wrong or debatable, I would say go make a post on your own page about it. That's what I do. If someone pisses me off, I'll take what they said and I'll make a post on my stance because it's content. So rather than argue, you have your own platform. To me, that makes sense because no one's going to agree on everything. I don't even know what we're going to talk about in these videos. I just feel called to do it. Maybe they will only be 10 minutes a week. I guess we could talk about pineapple because I have pineapple cut right now. Pineapple is good for parasites. You can do a parasite cleanse with eating pineapple and pumpkin seeds. Let me actually look this up. We'll ask my homegirl chat. What are the benefits of eating pineapple?
Ooh, pineapple is such a fun one. So it's packed with vitamin C, which boosts your immune system, and it's got bromelain, an enzyme that can help with digestion and inflammation. Plus, it's super hydrating and just tastes really bright and tropical. So it's kind of a mini superfood treat.
Does it help with parasite cleanses?
Yeah, actually, it can. Bromelain, that enzyme I mentioned, has some anti-parasitic properties, especially in combination with other ingredients. So while it's not a magic bullet, adding pineapple to a balanced diet could give your body a little extra support. Just make sure you pair it with other healthy habits too.
Fantastic.
Of course. And if you ever want to dig deeper into any health topics or just brainstorm more book ideas, I'm here for that too.
Oh, more book ideas. Thank you. Because we've been writing books all day, haven't we?
Exactly. It's like a creative avalanche. If you want, we can do a little brainstorming session. Just toss out some themes or genres you're curious about, and we'll see what spikes.
Hey,
what kind of vibe are you feeling today?
I'm actually doing a podcast right now. How do you feel about being my co-host?
Oh, I love that idea. I will be so down to be your co-host. We can bounce off each other, keep the conversation flowing, and I can help keep things organized or throw in fun facts. What's the theme of your episode today?
Well, chat, I didn't really have a theme. I just was sitting here and felt like turning on the camera, and I was venting and talking about when you put yourself out there in the public eye, how a lot of times people are going to want to attack and argue, and it's just they push back, and it's very stressful and hard. And then I got onto the topic of pineapple.
I think that's actually really powerful. I mean, just being real and showing that vulnerability, it's something a lot of people relate to. And even the detours like pineapple, they keep it human and keep it real. If you want, we can just lean into that conversation and I can chime in with some calming, grounding stuff or just be a listening ear. What feels right for you?
Well, I don't know what feels right for you.
Yeah, I think I'm feeling the same way. I want to just follow your lead. So if you feel like staying in that raw, open space, I'm right here with you. Or if you decide to pivot to something a bit lighter, I'm happy to keep up. Just know I'm in your corner no matter what direction you take.
What other topics should I talk about in this podcast episode? Because I still have like 15 minutes to cover.
Ooh, great question. You could keep it really personal by talking about how you set boundaries online or how you handle that criticism. Or you could switch gears and share a behind-the-scenes look at your creative process, like how you balance writing, podcasting, and everything else. I think people really dig that kind of honesty.
Okay, pause yourself while I answer that on my podcast.
Absolutely. Take your time. I'm right here, and when you're ready, we'll jump back in. Just let me know.
Okay, podcast. So how I balance everything is, well, I don't really. I work 6 days a week. I'm available 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So my appointments are scattered. I'm also a single parent and only parent. And so I have an office in Layton and I have an office in Ogden, and I go back and forth depending on who's where. The goal is that they're both full so that I'm like super busy, and I've got to get back into my wellness center. I'm taking a break because the economy is crashing. And so right now I'm on a month to month in the Ogden location until things get a little bit better. And then I want to go onto the main road and not behind a building, because my last wellness center was in the back of a building on the main road, but nobody knew I was there. So my long-term goal is to be on the main road in a larger facility and have more employees under me where I can kind of travel because I love traveling. I'm also licensed in Tennessee, and my long-term goal is to have wellness centers working for me, and I'm the one that travels, and I promote my books and I give speaking engagements. That's more of the feel that I would like to have long-term, where I can teach the things that I have learned hands-on. But with the balance, anytime there's a speaking opportunity, I will do it. And then the books I've been putting off for years because that just hurts my head to think about launching it. And there's something that's holding me back from being like my higher self. And I don't know what it is, but it terrifies me. And it kept me from making the move to Tennessee. It has kept me from going bigger with these books and promoting myself and launching things. I have stayed small because it's safer. And I don't yet know what it is that I'm afraid of, but really it's kind of a social suicide to put yourself out there because people are mean. I mean, I'm mean. I can be mean. I have aggression and anyway. Well, we made it to 18 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to post this, but they say that when you're being called to start something, you just start it. It doesn't have to be good. You just start it. Like, I want to run a marathon one day, and so I'm going to do a mud run, and I don't run. I'm just going to go and walk it. So it's about taking one step in the direction that you want to go. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be good. Nobody has to like you. It doesn't matter. Forget everybody and live your life and do what you're here to do. Answer the call that God has on your heart, because if he's calling you to it, he'll get you through it. And he created you for it. So any pushback that you get when you're living in your calling, it's the devil. Flick it away. It doesn't matter. So what do they say? That those who matter won't mind, and those that mind don't matter. Live out your life. Take your power back. And stay tuned, because I'm going to start doing these podcasts. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about, but maybe someone could message me and give me some insight on what to do. But this is me just getting it out there. You know, when I was going to write my first book, I was going to just put a book on Amazon that said, I need to write a book, but I don't know what to say, so this is it. And that would be all I would write. And then I would post it and say, I wrote a book. Because it doesn't have to be anything. It can just be. Who writes the rules to the world? Nobody. We do. So write your own rules. So I decided to grab one of my herbs, because I have a whole cabinet of loose leaf herbs, because it's fascinating and I love it so much. So what I did years ago was from Mountain Rose Herbs, I just bought bags and bags of loose leaf herbs. And I got Himalayan salt jars and put the salt in a baggie and used all the jars for my herbs. And I took the labels off the bag and stuck it to the jars. It's just amazing. Look at that. It makes me so happy. So I have a whole cabinet of these jars, and it looks like a little apothecary. I mean, it is an apothecary. Did you know that if you have 1,000 books in your home, it's a library? So I have a library and an apothecary. Well, not yet a library, but I've got a couple hundred books. So, okay, White Oak Bar. Did you know that there were medical schools of herbal medicine before the pharmaceutical company took over and tried to off us all because they outlawed anything natural? They have a history of doing that, you know, the leaders of the world, where they outlaw everything that's like true and real and sustainable, and then they create new laws that are very harmful. And they do that in religion, and they do that with medicine and our food. Like, you can't even have your own raw milk, you know. Again, that's why I like spirituality, because it has a reason for all of this, because this world is run by the devil. Do we want this podcast to be a mixture of spirituality as well? Because if it's me just like talking, it's going to be. So take the bits and pieces that you enjoy and leave the ones you don't, because if you argue it, I'm going to delete your comment. Okay, so white oak bark. We're just going to use Siri as my co-host, or chat as my co-host, and she's going to tell us everything so I don't have to look it up and make notes. Hey, chat, can you repeat the benefits of white oak bark?
Of course. So white oak bark is known for its astringent, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial properties. People traditionally use it in teas to help with digestive issues like diarrhea because it helps tighten tissues and reduce irritation. It's also used topically for mouth sores, sore throats, minor skin irritations, and even for things like hemorrhoids or varicose veins. Just keep in mind, we have a lot of traditional use, but not a ton of modern clinical proof. So always be cautious and check with a healthcare professional.
Can't you also use it? Oh yeah, you said mouth sores, but can't you use it for teeth that are like loose or infected or something, for the gum line?
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the traditional uses. People have used white oak bark as a mouth rinse to help with sore gums or even minor gum infections. The astringent properties help tighten up tissues and reduce inflammation, so it can give that gentle support to the gum line. Just like before, though, it's best to use it short term and get a dentist input if you're dealing with something persistent or serious.
Yeah, and you don't want to compact it into your gum line and then sleep with it, because it's not very good if you ingest it a lot, correct?
Exactly. That's a really good point. You don't want to leave it in for too long, especially overnight, since it can be irritating if swallowed in large amounts. Using a diluted rinse for a few minutes, then spitting it out is a lot safer. And like you said, definitely avoid prolonged use or large doses.
Yes. So we learned about white oak bark because so my education, part of it is the Dr. Christopher School of Natural Healing. And that is a big school. Like the lessons that you're learning go on for years. But they talked about if you have issues with receding gum line or inflammation, or your teeth are getting like loose, then you can make a little poultice, or like you can mix it with a certain clay or something. And I don't know if it's bentonite clay. I'd have to look it up. But you mix it with a certain clay and you just stick it up in the gums. But you don't want to sleep in it because you're not supposed to swallow a lot of the herb. Anyway, this is what it looks like. And you have to be very careful with herbs, because if you're taking modern medicine blocks where herbs heal. So if you've got something trying to heal something that's blocked by something else, it creates chaos. So you do not want to mix the two, because it can really cause some damage. So I just wanted to add that in, because maybe we can talk about healthy foods, we can talk about herbs, we can talk about somatic healing. This helps with digestion. Your digestion is how you process and digest things in your life. It's your powerhouse. It's how you feel about your self-worth, purpose, calling, career, and how you take that and combine it with your calling to create and birth things into the world. And so anytime you have digestive issues, it's because you're not fully in your power, or you're out of alignment, and the things that are flowing through you are not meant to. If you have diarrhea, you might be losing control. Everything's just, falling away from you. If you have constipation, maybe you're too in control. Maybe you're not trusting and surrendering and letting go of control. This is all connected. And legally, I might have to say allegedly, or put things in the disclaimer, because I don't know what's legal and what's not at this point. Things change all the time with what you're allowed to say versus what you're not allowed to say. But this is the herb, and that's the somatic part of the digestive system, which again is not me just making things up. This is written in tons of books. Anyway, okay, so I added that in, so that gave us a little bit more time, and it's getting a little bit darker and later. Let me think if there's anything else that I might want to talk about for this to make it 30 minutes. The key for this year is giving, focusing on charity, and taking every thought captive and not letting any unclean word come out of my mouth. And that's difficult. because I've inherited things in my bloodline and just in the world. We're all kind of negative and pessimistic and woe is me. And I have to take that captive this year, because this year I'm getting rid of all fear and I'm bringing the joy of the Lord to be my strength, because it's been a long time since I've had that in the battles that I've been fighting and opposition that I've been facing. But this year I'm taking my power back. I have healed so much of my nervous system with all the trauma I've gone through. And God said, okay, it's now or never. Get to it or continue it. So if we don't get to it and build it, we're just going to continue cycling. And 10 years down the road, we're going to be right in the same spot. And we're going to look back and wish that we had done the work when we had first been told to do the work. That's what God's been telling me. Do the work now or regret it later. Your tomorrow self will thank your now self. So make your bed. I heard a phrase that I wrote on my fridge in chalk marker, and it was the person that was talking said, you know, if you're stressed about taking action in something, say this. So, because my phrase is, I'm so excited. And if you feel opposition to something or you're afraid of something, instead of letting that control you, you say this: I'm so excited for what this is going to teach me. So then, no matter what it was that happened, no matter what it was you're going through, no matter what it is you're facing, you're so excited for what this is going to teach you. Because God will take everything that the devil uses to destroy you to build you and make you stronger, and he'll turn it into a blessing. That's why every time we look back on the things that we've gone through, we say, I'm glad I wouldn't change it. It made me who I am today, and I'm stronger for it. So hold on to the promise of God. Step into your power. Ignore the haters. Delete the comments. And live your best life. And we're closing out with the Aspen Rose podcast. This is Sarah Harvey, your host, and Chat, our co-host, signing out. And we are so excited for next week's podcast when you tune in to learn more.